Good evening, everybody.
That shouldn't stop there.
Well, thank you for being here in the dark and in the cold. I know it's been a long night and you've been hearing a lot of people speak. They say I can't keep it brief, so I'm going to prove them wrong. All the rhinos in the house, could you please get up and leave? And if you're really here as a journalist to write dishonest things and mock people for being Christians and imply that they're domestic terrorists because they want a secure border, can you fuck off? Any of you here? Anybody want to leave? This is your chance. Because you motherfuckers have names and addresses. Yeah. And we're tired of it. We're tired of being accused of being racist when we're not. Because there isn't a race in this country that doesn't want a secure border. Yeah, and a bigot. They don't even know the origins of bigot, which comes from the bigot list from World War II. Look it up. It's got nothing to do with prejudice. It's who was read in and who wasn't. So that's got nothing to do with the way they portray it today. And so what you're seeing around you is people who are tired of being misrepresented, tired of cancel culture, tired of being censored, tired of being silenced. Right? I mean, they have the cheek. Some asshole journalist, probably about 12 years old, is writing stories about Dr. Pete Chambers questioning his military credentials. He's a flight surgeon for 3rd Group Special Forces. How many lives has that man saved in service of his country? He doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve that, but they get away with it. They get away with it because you let them. We let them, all of us, because you're scared. Scared of going to jail, scared of the FBI showing up at your house. Don't fucking lie. You are. Scared of losing your job, scared of not being able to pay the mortgage. Scared. We are. All of us. Me too. Hey, shut the hell up. You want to
take our order back.
Then shut the fuck up. Okay.
Virginia to Texas. Another split in Texas to Arizona.
Scared.
And a
We
third
all
from
have a little bit of that. We all have something we don't want to
final
lose.
rallies are scheduled.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but you got less than 300 days before it all goes down the toilet. So General Flynn said something to me once, many years ago, about Syria, when the Syrian war had just begun. And we were at the Army-Navy Club in Arlington, Virginia, and he said, we have no good options left. Because at that point, the war had progressed to such a bad situation that whichever way you went in, it was going to be ugly, right? We are almost at that moment in the United States. We have a few hundred days left before we have no good options. Because if you think the last 4 years were bad, imagine if you're clinging to the hope that Trump's going to get into power, what if that doesn't happen in November? What if there is no election? Because it's not guaranteed. So now they're already trying to paint this as if it's a gathering of domestic terrorists. I join you on the terror list. For my crime of speaking at a Moms for Liberty event. That's what got me on the terror list. Imagine that. Just because I said I didn't think that little boys and little girls need to learn how to pleasure older men in the classroom. I don't think that's appropriate. It had nothing to do with banning anything. I'm a First Amendment person. Been First Amendment all my life. Will be till the day I die. But I don't have any problem standing up and saying that I don't think 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds need to hear about that or read about it at school. If you want to teach them about that at home, that's your business. It's a free country. But for standing up for our children, we get labeled as domestic terrorists. And to understand why, you have to understand the origins of that. The origins of cultural Marxism. Goes back to the 60s generation, free love. These are the people in power now. And who empowered them? The Franklin School that came from Germany right at the beginning of the Second World War. And who did they partner with? Columbia Journalism Schools. And any wonder they don't turn out any journalists. Little indoctrinated robots. Right? Go forth. Go forth and write what we tell you, not the truth, though. Truth will get you in trouble. That truth will get you fired. So I would say to all of you, I am a journalist. It's not my job to tell you what to do. But people ask me all the time, what do we do? And my answer to that is, why the fuck are you asking me? You were born in the United States of America. You were raised in this country with more individual rights than any nation
Thanks,
on
Jennifer.
earth.
Thanks for the super chat. Thanks, Jennifer.
All you have to do
Big ups.
is read the Constitution. That's all you have to do. And you will know what to do, because it's in there. You don't have to break the law. You don't have to be violent. You just have to read the Constitution. Read the God-given rights that were bestowed on you from the day you were born. And stand up. And don't live in fear. We all have fear. Someone much smarter than me said that courage is acting in the presence of fear. Right? Mike Flynn told me, we can't act out of fear and we can't live in fear. And that's the truth. And the reason we're stuck in this situation is that we don't do anything to help the people who do stand up. That's one reason. So when Tarek Johnson, a 23-year veteran of the Capitol Police, who evacuated both the House and the Senate chamber on January 6th, when he blows the whistle and gives up his career, and gives up his pension and his identity and everything to stand up and tell the truth on behalf of this country, what happens to him? He gets fired and tossed out like with the trash. And you barely even know his name.
Are they helping your family?
What happened to Lieutenant Colonel Stu Scheller?
Give me a fucking break.
The only officer brave enough to stand up when we were
let their fucking government
betraying
take care
Afghanistan.
of them.
The soldiers that we trained, the women that we said, oh no, you're not going to go back to being prisoners of a terrorist organization. The women we lied to
Lois.
said
Thanks,
you can
Lois.
have freedom and you can have equality and you don't have to be beaten every day by the men in your house. We lied to them. Because in the end, what did we do? We gave them up to the same people that attacked this country on 9/11. They'll tell you it's not. The Taliban's not the same as Al-Qaeda. Really? Have you read their manifesto? What flag do they carry?
so much,
Oh yeah, that's right, the same flag. Who's the head of the Afghan Al-Qaeda? The guy that's sitting in the presidential palace.
Yeah, sport, I know, right? She does have more balls than most people.
Haqqani. We put him there. And every day, people are still being murdered in Afghanistan. People who we taught to believe in the ideals of freedom and liberty and justice and God-given rights.
Yeah, Ghost One.
And then we pissed
One day I can, for sure.
and left them to drown in their own blood. That's what we did. Why? We didn't have to. How does an Air Force run without its mechanics? We took all the things that kept the Afghan Air Force in the skies, we took it away. Why? We created a highly mobile special operations component based on ours. And what did we do? We took their wings. And they were slaughtered in front of the cameras for the world to see, to send a message to every other soldier. So when I speak to members of the Afghan resistance today, you know what their greatest problem is? You know why they're not winning? Because they can't recruit people to a failed idea. They have no allies. Because the greatest light of freedom for the world, the United States of America, pissed all over the ideal of freedom and left them to die. That's what we did. Some of them are sitting in refugee camps still in Dubai, trying to get into the United States while our border is flooded with Chinese, 8,000 the last month.
Go to your country,
27,000 Chinese,
protest
mostly
your
adult
government.
males.
Make our
They're not
lives
sending
better.
battalions, they're
What the fuck do we
sending
have to do with you?
divisions. They're sending
You know, if
entire
you wanted to go to
armies.
their country, you couldn't even fucking
Entire
get in without a
armies are
passport?
already inside this country, and they're all over the country. And if none of you have read the 1999 book by two Chinese colonels, Unrestricted Warfare, you should read it. If you're not familiar with drug warfare, you should become familiar with it. Because it's not an accident that your children or your neighbor's child or someone at school has died of a fentanyl overdose. It's not an accident, it's called drug warfare. So all those people who wanted to get rich with globalization, right? That was another lie we were sold. Everything's going to be better, right? They didn't tell you about the towns across the Midwest that were impoverished. They didn't tell you about all the factories that were closed. They didn't tell you we would never manufacture another thing again because we'd give it all to the Chinese. Who in their right mind thinks that giving a foreign nation manufacturing capability of your entire pharmaceutical industry, does that sound like a good idea for national security?
No.
So, the only reason you would do that is if you look at the world and the world belongs to you. And if the Chinese Communist Party serves you, not the other way around. That's the only reason you would do that. So when you look at the Chinese flooding over the border, they're not just coming for the CCP. They're coming for our domestic enemies who command those armies, who want them in the country. The CCP serves the global cult.
He can't go and work in a corporate.
And what have we done about it? Everybody's, hoorah, well done, Governor Abbott. Where have you been for the last 3 years, Governor Abbott?
53, thanks so much for the super chat. Thank you.
So long. Because let me tell you something else. Here's another big lie of the border. And I hope every journalist here is paying attention. You're constantly right, and you paint this box, a political box, that if you want border security, you're a racist and you don't care about innocent people who just want a better life. Is it a better life if you're a pregnant woman who has to report every day to the room behind a gas station where the cartel has you be raped all day long to pay off your debt? Is that a better life? No. Because Texas Rangers busted that sex trafficking ring 2 years ago. 2 years ago. This is not a secret. If you're an unaccompanied minor, aren't you supposed to be coming here to be reunited with your family? So why are you in the foster care system? Excuse me? Excuse me? Thousands, 85,000 kids have gone missing from 21-22. That doesn't even include 2023. I was with a counter-trafficking organization this weekend that got a list of names. The first 2 names, they traced and found those kids, and where were they? They'd been given to sex workers. What is a sex worker? That's somebody that's... These children are being raped for money. And it's not pretty. Even that doesn't describe it. I have interviewed girls who've been trafficked. One of them was tied to a bed for 11 months, chained. She was there for every soldier that came off the battlefield in Mosul, Iraq. Day and night, day and night, day and night. For 11 months straight, she was raped. And that was after she'd already been sold to her first owner, then to her second owner, then this guy in Mosul was the third one. She was occasionally allowed to eat, and occasionally they unchained her for her to wash. Naked for 11 months. Raped day and night. She lost count. She lost count of the days. She lost
Did they
count of the
protest
men.
their own government?
That's just
Did they
one
protest
11-month
their own
period
human
that
health
she
services
endured.
in their own government?
The average
What
age,
makes them
the
think, come here and
average
you're
amount
just
of
going to get a
time
handout?
that a child survives when it's trafficked is
Overthrow
2
your own
years.
government.
Talk
Change
to
the
anyone in the
government.
industry who really knows. Do you know what hurtcore is? Yeah, I know he's raising their hand.
Get
Good.
it.
Hurtcore is sadistic pornography. That's what they call it. You can find it on the dark web. That's where a lot of these children go. And they do things like, I don't know, maybe you get 50,
Somebody please
100,
make a
200,
sandwich.
400 guys from all over the world that participate in a gang rape, and they tell them how they want the person tortured, little boys as much as little girls.
Where's
And
why
you
are you
know,
making mom get up and make a sandwich?
they all participate in the abject, horrific torture of children for their
Did you
own
hear the guy?
carnal pleasure. They do other things. Like they'll take a baby or a child, they'll know which veins to cut because some people like a big blood show when they rape someone to death. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And you know what else? The reason I said you all have names and addresses, you know what? So do those people. And so do the people who store that pornography. So do the people that move it. The same infrastructure that moves your messages and your emails, your photographs, your financial transactions, the same people that move that, move all of that, move all of that dark, evil stuff. They own it, they store it. Ericsson stores child pornography in 150 countries. They just signed an agreement with over 800 Gold Star families where they paid them out as settlement for having given targeting information to where U.S. soldiers were on the battlefield so they could be murdered by Al-Qaeda and ISIS in Iraq. That's the company that the United States government allows to handle all of its secret traffic. Is it that secret?
Oh, if you're splitting things up, I don't want
It's
to see.
running on Ericsson's cables and stored on Ericsson's service. Is it a secret?
So that's
It's
what you're
not a
working on,
secret.
allocation of
And guess what?
funds.
Right there next to it, all your secrets too. Go to the server farms. There's one in the Nevada desert. Some of them are in mountains. Some of them are in this. Google has one in a cathedral in Barcelona. That's where they store all your information. And it's so valuable, it's secured. More security than they have even at the White House at this point. So think about that. Because Texas today, there's more than 50% of the people trafficked in this country go through Bexar County. And that's on us. Because we're all waiting for somebody to come and save us. And I hope to God there is someone coming. My husband and I fight about this all the time. He says it would be a lot worse if people weren't working feverishly behind the scenes. But what we know is it's as bad as it's ever been. This is not maybe the most important election in history. This is the most important election in history. So get off your ass and do something about it.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah, she's really good.
Logan, everybody. We're going to be wrapping up. We got a couple more speakers. We have a surprise guest coming to round us out. And then we're going to...
I gotta move when my knees are killing me.
All right? We're going to have a corporate prayer together. Real quickly, everybody must call their senators. Write this number down. This is a bill that they're trying to pass right now. There's a Schumer-Langford border deal. Y'all heard about this? I mean, absolute nonsense. Increasing green cards by 50,000 a year, work permits for adult children, H-1B holders, and immediate work permits to every illegal alien released from custody, taxpayer-funded lawyers to certain UACs and mental